Tonight, ladies and gentlemen, there's a new genre in movies. It's called body horror, and it's turning out to be an absolute mess. We'll talk about that on tonight's reviews, and we're debuting a brand new segment. All that and a whole lot more for you. A cinematic class is about to begin, and your professor is in. Greetings, salutations, and other sundry affair. I am your cinematic professor and purveyor of truth in movies. Boy, we have a lot to cover tonight, but I'm happy to report to you that the amount of our sponsors is growing, and I'm very happy about this. Sponsors are a good thing. Of course, we have Sam still sponsoring the show down at House of Feruza. He has something brand new coming up, and I'll tell you about that a little bit later on in the show. Gabriel Mastracci, the illustrator and brand maker, is all in with our show again. We'll have more about him later in the show. And we want to welcome, for the first time on Outtakes with Rick's Reel this season, the Three Rivers Comic-Con. John and Todd, guys from New Dimension Comics, are all back with us again, and we'll be talking about that later on in the show as well. So welcome, everyone. And, if you're thinking, hey, this is a good thing, I'd like to be a sponsor too, just drop me a line here at the studio. Send it care of Dave. He'll send me the email, and we'll chit-chat and talk and get you on the show as well. Why not? Hey, there is a new type of genre called body horror. And, this thing I think is flopping on its face. And our first movie, it's listed as horror mainly because of body horror, but it's really not a horror movie. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the movie is called The Ugly Stepsister, and it comes to us from Poland. And I promised many of my friends I would not make any Polish jokes. But how do you mess up the story of Cinderella? You know what? Maybe it has nothing to do with Poland. Maybe it has something to do with the fact that this is a female director doing horror. And I know you're going to sit back and say, oh, there goes the professor again. He just simply does not like female directors doing horror. And I wish that were the only reason, but time after time after time, it proves to be true. And this movie is no exception. As I said, it's not actually a horror movie. It's the story of Cinderella. And what they've done is they've added a couple of scenes that are gruesome, okay? Like, for example, when the sister's trying to get her foot into the slipper and it doesn't quite fit, so she takes an axe and chops off the top of her foot so it will fit. Stuff like that. That doesn't, I think, qualify an entire movie as horror. I mean, if just gruesome, violent scenes meant the movie was a horror movie, then Sam Peckinpah did nothing but make horror movies. And we know that's not true. He made westerns primarily. Charles Perrault's beloved fairy tale is placed in the hands of writer-director Emily Blichfeld. Now, she attempts to emulate the same equivalent tone as The Substance. You remember that movie with Demi Moore. I did a review on that earlier and told you that it was a really good horror movie up until the last 45 minutes when it went into the body horror genre. Alrighty, the theme is that beauty is superficial, but along the way, it distorts that message in Cinderella to a mockery of virginity and disdain for utilizing sex to gain societal status. Oh, and it also adds in the stupidity of men. Of course it would. Hey, I think now it's time to get an expert opinion on this, so let's peel back the veils of time and head back to the early Cretaceous period for the nation's first and only prehistoric film critic, Rex Reel.
Cinderella transforms into the evil stepsister as Leah Myron portrays Elvira. This is Leah's feature debut, and she dispenses a stunning performance. Conversely, the wicked stepsister Agnes, played by Thea Sophie Lockness, transmutes into Cinderella, but is actually nothing more than a stable tramp. Director of photography Marcel Ziskind performs yeoman duty behind the camera, while editor Olivia Nerod-Holm, one of the dreaded three-named people, is schizophrenic. The first acts of the movie are smooth, but the third act is choppy and scurried. Overall, a banal rendering of Cinderella.
Also in The Ugly Stepsister are Anne Dahl Torp as Rebecca. She plays the mom or stepmom, depending on which character you're looking from. Isaac Komroth as the prince, and Adam Lundgren as Dr. Esthétique. He is the eccentric doctor who attempts to alter Elvira beautiful through a series of quasi-modern cosmetic techniques, all delivered without anesthetic. The entire production is uneven, and inexplicably, in the final act, Elvira and Rebecca begin to refer to Agnes as Cinderella, even though no such character exists in the story. Plot confusion, we call that. Here's a look now at The Ugly Stepsister.
I'm going crazy. I've lost my mind. Best friend insanity. I've lost my mind. I'm going crazy. I've lost my mind.
There's a whole lot more on the show when Outtakes with Rex Reel continues right after this. Say, for the last couple of weeks, we've been telling you that changes are coming to the House of Fairuza Barbershop. And Sam has just unveiled one of those changes, a new service that they're going to call the Groomsman Package. Now, it's called groomsmen because basically, guys who are in a wedding, they get the groomsmen together and you do something like this for your groomsmen, but actually it's a service that is provided for any group of guys. That has to be at least 5 of you, and it's a pretty nice package. Now, here's a quick rundown. You can select up to 3 different levels of service, and the categories are all listed for you. And then when you show up at the barbershop, you get complimentary beverages, you get full access to the pool table, and then you get a personalized grooming kit for each member of the party. Then you sit down in the chair and you just let yourself go as Sam and his crew take really good. I've had some of these things, the facial massage and whatever. It's really some good stuff. To prepare for this, you're going to have to call and make a reservation, so they can only take the reservations by phone, and you should give them about 2 months to set everything up. But it sounds like a great package, especially if you're doing something, with a group of guys, or if you're getting married and you want to do something special for your groomsmen. It's a great package. Call Sam, he'll tell you all about it at the House of Fairuza Barbershop. They're located at the corner of South Park Road and Drake Road. You want to like it. Welcome back to the show. Sometimes the people speak. Oh, I love dipping in the mailbag, and our first 2 letters come to us, emails actually, come to us, and they have a similar theme, and that's why I lumped them together. PCA 1987, nice name, was writing about the movie The Baby in the Basket, and he said, I haven't even heard of this one until now. Anyway, it sounds horrible. It was. If you watched my review, you got it real good. And then our second letter comes from Sarah Lee, and she says, thank you, think I'll skip this one. And she was talking about The Amateur. The whole key of why I even began doing movie reviews was to enlighten you as to where best to spend your entertainment dollars. And if you watched previous episodes, which are still online, you get the best and the worst of 2024. Those are always good to check out. And I'm glad you take my advice. But let me throw a little caveat in there. I'll tell you movies that I don't think are worth putting money down to see. But if you're sitting at home and you have a streamer service already or a cable service already, and one of these movies comes on and you want to eyeball it just for, kicks and giggles, that's fine. Because at least when you're home, you haven't really spent anything, so to speak, on it because you already had the service, and you could always walk out and do something else in another room. So that's your little caveat for those. But I'm glad the messages went through. Got a letter that said, this was awesome. Thank you so much. It's from Dominic Bianco. He was talking about the Coffee and Chaos episode we did at the Jurassic Alcove. It was a whole lot of fun. It's still up online on the BPTV YouTube channel and elsewhere online. So be sure to check it out if you didn't yet. And you'll see what Dom is talking all about. And finally, well, we got I love when I get comments on movies that are ages in the past. This was about Echoes of Fear, and it just came in. This is from Dominic Kilworth, and he said, I love this film, and it's probably the only horror movie that's made me jump since The Conjuring 2, and that it has the most original opening topless shower scene, as it was an older gent rather than a 20-year-old girl. Yeah, okay. We're going to let that one slide. Hey, I got a lot more on the show when Outtakes with Rex Reel continues right after this. Say, we want to welcome a new sponsor to the show. Gabriel Mastracci is a graphic designer and artist, and he will do rebranding for you. And he is now an official sponsor of the show. Here is the URL where you can get all of his information. It's biosite/Gabriel Gabriel Mastracci. That'll take you to all of his art, what he's done, and his various social sites as well. Now, to give you an idea of what this is like, our other sponsor, the House of Fairuza, this is their logo, their original logo, which they have used up till today. And this was created back in 1947. And Sam called Gabriel up and said, we want to update this. We want to make a new logo. And here's what Gabe did for him. This is the brand new and improved look to go with the new and improved House of Fairuza. This is what Gabe did for Sam and the boys down there for their new logo. Pretty good, huh? Pretty slick, pretty clean. So if you're looking for a rebrand of your product or services, or if you're just looking to start up and start your own brand, this is the guy you need to call and talk. I'll tell you one other thing he's done. He's the guy who created the logo for this TV show. That's right. Rex Real is his design. Give him a call. He'll handle all of your marketing and branding needs. The site again is bio.site. Gabriel Mastracci. We're proud to have him as part of Outtakes with Rex Real. So welcome back to the show. I want to briefly talk about the streamers. They've kind of fallen into a rut. Max is concentrating a lot on documentaries and live sports events, including Stanley Cup playoffs, which you want to tune in to In the Crease. So Bob and I will tell you all about what's going on behind the scenes there. Shameful plug for the show, if you will. And Peacock. I guess their big claim to fame right now is that they are streaming Wolfman. Boy, I got a lot to say about Wolfman because over the last 3 weeks, I've seen several werewolf movies, and they seem to be very much in vogue right now. And I'll talk a little bit about all the werewolf movies and Wolfman on the next episode, so you'll be sure to stick around for that. Meantime, on Netflix, if you have some young kids, they have a Japanese version of an anime. I'm sorry, I have all the anime people getting mad at me. A manga cartoon up there. It's called Yu Yu Hakusho, and it's it wasn't bad. You could tell it was made for younger adults, but I sat through it and it was fine. They're also showing a couple of superhero movies. I think these things are, I'll tell you what, if the summer blockbusters don't boost these up, they're dying quickly. Craven is being streamed, and there's not going to be another one of those. It was not worth it. And Tom Hardy's bow out, if you will, of his swan song as Venom, Last Dance. Comic book fans of Venom were really pissed off about this movie, but they approached it as a comedy, and Tom was just getting out of his contract, and I thought it was funny, so I kind of laughed at it and never really took Venom all that seriously. So for that, the one movie that they have that's really, I think you want to make a plan to stop and see is a movie called One More Shot, and the movie is a pun, if you will, play on words, because the movie is one shot, okay? But one more shot has to do with the plot of the movie. And it's pretty cool, the way they set this whole thing up. It takes place basically in an airport, and it's all one continuous shot. Now, there is a way, after the movie 1917, there is a way that you can cheat at that, and okay, those of us that are old enough to remember reel-to-reel tape editing and match framing, we know how that's done. But bottom line is it's still pretty cool, and this is done rather well. And it stars Scott Adkins, who's a favorite of the show. Here's a look at One More Shot.
If you tell me where that bomb is, I will get you out of here alive.
Give him up! Delta, take him out! Have you got a visual?
We have no intel. No air support, completely on our own. This isn't just a terrorist attack, this is something more than that.
You can't stop this. It's too big.
He's lying.
What have you done? I think we should wait for the cavalry. Cavalry ain't coming. I have to stop this.
Say, I told you at the onset of the show that we're going to introduce a new segment, and this is it. Folks, I have to tell you, I'm not complaining. I enjoy watching movies, but I'm being inundated with films. I mean, so many are coming out, and so many of these studios, especially the independent and the foreign studios, appreciate what we do for their movies here on the show, and as a result, they are requesting and sending me these movies so that I can watch them and let you know what they're all about. And it's getting to be a little bit overwhelming. So what I've decided to do, clearing with the studios first, of course, is to present some of these movies without a review, just to let you know that they are out there, that they are coming out, and let you see what they are all about. We're going to start that up on this episode of the show. The first one I want to tell you about is a French movie, and the French are happy with me since I bragged about their Pandemonium movie, and they loved my review on it. But I got to tell you, only the French could make a movie like this. It's called Bonjour Triste. I don't know if they put the little accent at the end. It might just be Tess, but Testes put on there. It is all about female relationships. No men involved. Just, who cares about this stuff anymore? But the French do, and here is a look.
No, I'd rather not think of my daughter being looked at.
No, I said sing, not look at.
La vie n'est pas facile.
Of all the new movies I'm highlighting for you, I think this one is the most interesting. It's called Starring Jerry as Himself. Weird name for this movie. But what it is, it's actually a blend of a documentary shooting and narrative. And it's all about a Chinese man who comes to New York and sets up a successful business, and then he retires. And as he's looking forward to a nice, peaceful, quiet life with his family, the Chinese government approaches him and kind of coerces him into becoming a spy. Interesting movie. It's called Starring Jerry as Himself.
My name is Jerry. I came to America in 70s. I worked as an engineer for 40 years. I support my family by working hard and save money. But 1 year after I retired, I received a phone call.
等一下，这边来了一个欧检签发的正式的通告，说明天要拘留你做正式的调查。
希望你能够证明没有参与洗钱这个案子。
什么洗钱案？是一定有人假冒我的名字干的吧？
希望你能配合调查。
And finally, they've given me a film from Germany. Studio in Germany said, eyeball this for us. Now I'm going to let you guys eyeball this. It's called 2 for 1. It's a comedy from Germany, and it's all about economic systems. And naturally, they're not real big on capitalism. Watch at your own risk. 2 for 1.
Ich soll mir was Schwarzes anziehen. Und ist es legal, was wir da vorhaben?
Was legal ist und was illegal ist, derzeit sowieso eher von der Seite des Betrachters abhängig.
Das ist unser seit gestern ehemaliges Geld.
Wir dürfen das.
Das ist Klopapier.
Was denken Sie, wie viel ist denn das?
Das sind ein paar Millionen.
Guten Tag, Herr Jaritzer. Ich möchte Ihnen nur etwas ganz Interessantes zeigen.
Wir haben leider nur einen Haufen Ostgeld, tut mir wirklich leid.
Ja, 1 zu 7 nehme ich auf euer Geld.
I've got another review for you when Outtakes with Rex Reel continues right after this. Welcome back to the show. You know, we have another movie that is posing as a horror film simply because it has several scenes in it that are rather gruesome. This is a pattern that's becoming rather monotonous. It's listed under body horror, and it's not going to fly. The name of the movie is Healing Towers, and it's from One Tree Entertainment. It commences with a seemingly benevolent doctor who wishes to provide care and housing to the homeless. Most noble, would you say not? However, he has rather nefarious motives behind his rather magnanimous gestures. To find out about them, let's once again peel back the veils of time to the early Cretaceous period and check in with Rex Reel.
Healing Towers is not a horror movie. It is an amazingly terrible film that struggles to reach schlock B levels. The acting by the cast is on a level one normally sees in drive-in marathons. Shuja Paul is writer, director, and editor, and he does none well. Shankalp Dupre is director of photography. His imaging is flat, with nothing creative through the lens. The film's conclusion is rushed and inconclusive, leaving far too many plot lines unresolved. Healing Towers causes only pain for its viewers.
Healing Towers stars Andrew Keegan, William McNamara, Nikki Lee, and Ava Westcott. Here's a look.
I look after the most underrepresented patients.
Moving here, I feel very safe.
You are in a safe zone.
The medicine that I gave you makes you dream. The line between
dreams and reality gets blurrier.
This is my daughter's.
Where is she? Where's Casey?
You're sick!
Nope. I'm not. I'm a healer. This is how we bring peace to troubled minds.
Don't forget, there are movies that I do exclusively online. They don't appear on the TV show. Currently, the online reviews include The Trouble with Jessica, which is a very funny movie, Silent Partners, a new gangster film, Striking Rescue, which is Tony Jaa's latest, and The Amateur, which is all about espionage. You'll enjoy all of them. They are on the various socials. Check them out today. Hey, on sale at the official Rex Reel store. Time to clean up, right? Spring cleaning and all that. That's why our shower curtains and bath mats are on sale now. Check them out at the official Rex Reel store. What a way to bathe, huh? Love to talk more movies to you, but we're fresh out of time. So now that you have learned what you have learned, here endeth your lesson.